different about doing it? They're singing.
Yeah,
right?
the first time it'll be the version that we have in parts. You know, this one.
Yeah.
Just taking away, or do you
Nah, let's keep
them there?
it.
I tried to.
Oh, I see that. Rabbi Parent optional.
Nobody would ever guess.
So what's the song about?
Psalm 23,
Yeah.
which is called Psalm 23.
Only Linda in the. Oh no, we're
We're all
playing.
playing it the first time on the third line,
Yeah.
but it appears again before on the third line from
Right,
the end, which
right.
looks like it's just the
Who's the rabbi?
Okay.
So we're not playing with the rabbis.
Chanting. Yes, no, that's what she said. I just talked to her.
It's probably not going to do.
Literally. It was a temple.
Oh, wait.
That's it.
I think yeah, you need to do some.
I have. I'm not ready for But
Okay, singers, you remember instrumental first time, then Hebrew, then English.
Okay, and when do we flip in? Is that just, are we doing it like 6 times? Like,
So what time did you do it by yourself the first time? No.
it starts on a G.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do,
Let's go.
okay. I'm gonna rewrite that vocal in Hebrew, then Psalm 22.
It's not very long. It's too bad. All right. Hi, choirs.
oh,
Welcome back. People are still filtering in.
Sorry, no, page play.
What?
Joseph is
Oh, gee, I should check my.
let's everybody check your phones while we
Check
have a
your
minute.
phones. Check your phones.
Yeah,
Check
mine
your phones.
would normally be off, but because of the dog.
Okay. Phones. Oh, turn off phones. Yes. Okay. Very good. Oh, yeah. Okay. Deep breath. Oh, I had so many errands to run.
Oh, I always keep my phone.
Very
That's
fancy
why I say
dessert.
leave me a message because I don't, sometimes I don't get it to
Right
the
here?
next.
Yes.
Oh,
Very fancy. 5-pound box of cheese candy.
cool.
Yeah. Very big one. Is it 6:15?
It is after 6.
It's after 6:15.
It's about 6:18.
I always think it's.
Just count us.
But it doesn't have it.
Oh,
right.
oh, we'll see.
Right?
We didn't play through this one. I don't
Would you?
think so.
Oh,
Do we-
without you with it.
No. Well,
You've been coughing
Yeah.
a lot today. What's going on?
Something in there. I'm gonna pop one of them.
All right. Let's do it. No.
page 927. Welcome, everyone, to our Yizkor service this evening in the context of Yom Kippur. As we all know, one of the main metaphors for this holiday is that of a book of life and death, which means as we open a new book this year, we also close the book on last year. And in that book is written the names of all the loved ones whom we have lost in the past year. I like this metaphor of a book, for it means a few things. One, the loved ones we lost are not alone. They are residing alongside the names of your loved ones and your loved ones and your loved ones. They are finding home inside of a book together. It also means that we can carry our loved ones with us. A book is something we can hold in our hands, that we can touch, that we can run our hand over, that gets worn with time, that wrinkles like the faces we have lost. Through the book, we can still be in physical relationship with those whom we've lost. So as we allow ourselves to grieve in community for what may have all year felt like an individual process of grief, I invite you to remember that those whom you have lost are not alone, and that you can always carry them with you, reading the stories of their souls aloud for all to hear. So now we'll turn to page 1034 for a beautiful version of Psalm 23 with Linda and Doug.
Adonai rohi lo exar, hino sheyar b'tzeini, al mei menuchot, כי אתה עמדי. שבטך ומשענתך עמה ינחמוני. תערוך לפניי, לפניי, שולחן נגד רורריי, דשנת על שמן ראשי, כוסי רוויה. טוב וחסד ירדפוני, כל ימי חיי, כל ימי חיי, ושבתי בבית אדוני לאורך ימים. אדוני רואי לא אכזב, אדוני רואי לא
The Eternal is my shepherd. I shall never be in need. We'll turn now to page 1030 for a responsive reading. I will read one line. I'll invite you to read the next. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them.
In the blueness of the sky and the warmth of summer, we remember them.
In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them.
In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them.
When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them.
When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them.
When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them.
So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them.
So I would like to try something new this year and make room at our Yizkor service for people to come forward and share a brief story about someone whom they've lost and for whom they are here observing Yizkor today. And in between each share, we'll sing again the words that we began with, Eli, Eli, my God, I pray that the beauty of the world will never end, on page 927. And I will begin by modeling what this looks like. So this year I lost my friend Mazda Shazo, a brilliant community organizer, ritualist, and artist. So I'd like to begin by sharing a poem that she wrote. There isn't anything that can be done about the past, except to love it well now, to carry it forward like a lesson, like a guide, like something worthy of being remembered and not repeated. This knowing is a boundary, a line, something that separates what we wish it was from what it is, and stops the wish from ruining what's here with its wishness, There is no perfect step forward, no painless unfolding, no pretty plan. There is only here and try and grit and spine, fire and silence and rage, and the joy that breaks it like a wave. This body swells with emotion like my favorite waters, like oceans ruled by moon. We cannot take anything back, but it can come with us, new, holy, reverent, unwasted, teacher and wound, bound as one, ancient, new guiding star. So with that, we sing the words on page 927 all together. Eli, Eli. So if there's anyone who feels called to come, yes, Yorate, and you can come to this podium and share a story of a loved one.
My mother was named Irina Rolganitis. She was born in Kaunas in 1930. She died in April, and she moved here to be closer to me. And many of you knew her, and I just wanted to share what Danny said when I brought her to a service. She said, she's smart, she asks good questions, she's a Catholic, she should join our Shalom. and she really just appreciated the camaraderie and the love I had with the community, and also the musicality. She said, everybody sings at the services. So I just wanted to give you that message from beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Yorate. Is there anyone who would like to share a little about a loved one whom they're remembering?
My father, Maurice Varon, was born in Brooklyn in 1927.
and he died on June 7th in Seattle. It's hard to figure out what to say. There's so much. He and my mother gave me a gift of stories and voices and accents and language, theater. It's really only in the last month or two that I understand how much of what I do and have done for my living for the last 40 years is their spirit coming through me. And my dad was also my first comedy teacher. I'm trying to figure out which of his jokes to tell you. I'm thinking probably the most irreverent would be the best. So I'll tell this one. It's a funeral, and the rabbi has asked for somebody to say something. Just anybody say a few words about the deceased, and there's silence. So the rabbi waits for a little bit and then pushes a little harder. Is there anybody who would like to just say something, a few words? Nothing. Would someone care to share just a little bit about this person who's just passed away? Finally, a man stands up. His brother was worse. Oh, I think he would be so happy that I told that on Yom Kippur. The other gift I've been thinking about just now is his utter openness, sense of wonder. We'd be walking down the street and there'd be, the forsythia would be in bloom, and he would say the Shehechianu. And he was not a synagogue-going Jew, particularly. He would go, I've been going through his stuff in addition to all these little puns and jokes he wrote on 3x5 cards, and his dreams. And I found his notes on Torah study classes he took, but he did not do well with any form of institution or organization. It just wasn't his thing. And I think about that sometimes as I track my decades now with Or Shalom and how important it is to me. But he left very few instructions about what he wanted to be done, and we knew his wishes were the minimum, nothing, no grave, no nothing. That was not his. But my mother, we knew it would be meaningful to her. So we did this crazy hybrid. He was cremated, and then we buried his cremated remains. And it was a lovely graveside ceremony. It was just my sister and my mother and my niece, my brother-in-law and I, and a rabbi in Seattle. And I was wondering, what would my dad think of this? Here was this, but tremendous openness. And so I asked him as we drove home, I said, so what did you think of it? And the voice that came to me is, well, it's not the kind of thing I thought I would have liked, but I was wrong. And I'm talking to him every day, and he's making me laugh, and he's still communicating this sense of wonder and openness.
Thank you, Charlie.
Rish Rosh Hashanah.
Would anyone else like to share?
I grew up in a small town in eastern Washington state, and there weren't very many Jews there. My parents moved there in 1944 from Minnesota, which also, in the Iron Ranges of Minnesota, there weren't that many Jews, but there actually was a thriving Jewish community. And they were amongst the founders of our synagogue there, and they built a family for themselves there, they and the other founders of the synagogue there. And the people there were like family to me growing up. And just this fall, this late summer and fall, I lost two people whom I thought of as second. I had a lot of second mothers. There were no third mothers, they were all second mothers to me. And I thought about them always in relation to myself, but I've also been thinking about them, especially in relation to my mother, because she didn't have her family with her, and also she didn't have much family. She lost her parents, both of them, before she turned 7 and was shunted around to relatives and always was very independent, but she had this close network of women friends. And these two women, Susan Catherine and Phoebe DeLay, were amongst her very, very close friends. They were younger than she was. My mother, everybody was always surprised to find out how old she was because she always looked younger than her age, almost to the very end. And these women, Susan, I think, was maybe 20 years younger than she was, Phoebe at least 15, and they were part of her network of chosen family, as we say here, but it was like nothing I've ever seen elsewhere. So strong. And so I've been thinking a lot since they passed about what they meant to her and what they meant to me. Susan was full of common sense and just always ready to give kind of an offhand dry remark when we would have conversations. And Phoebe came from Morocco. She was born in 1929 and was one of the few Sephardi Jews in our congregation, and she baked for everybody. There was always something beautiful that she baked. When Pan had their bat mitzvah here, she gave us a huge challah to bring back for Pan's bat mitzvah. There was always something, and she always, whenever I saw her, would put an arm around me and go, "Oh, Miriam." So I don't have any mothers left anymore, except in my heart. And I am thinking about them very much right now.
Thank you, Miriam. This will be our last share, and afterwards, during breakfast, I invite you to share with each other more about loved ones whom you've lost if you care to do so.
I'm Dave Franquist. I'm not a member of Or Shalom. Deborah is a very active member of Or Shalom, and I just tag along. But I do have a faith community. I belong to St. Aidan's Episcopal Church in Diamond Heights. And we lost a very dear friend this year who had been our music minister for a number of years. And when he came to us, he didn't know beans about Episcopal churches or Christian hymns or anything. He was Jewish. But a fine musician and eager to learn. He required a lot of hand-holding at first, but he really settled in beautifully, and our choir loved him. When he died this year, he hadn't been able to do his work for more than a year, but he finally died this year, and as far as I know, the only memorial service he had was at St. Aidan's. But huge numbers of people turned out. And what we heard over and over again was what a kind person he was, working with singers. That he never criticized anyone. He simply came up with ways of helping them to be better. And I was just sitting there reflecting on, how much we have this in common, that how deep music goes to bind us all together, regardless of our particular faith tradition. Remember Barry Corin. You were praying for him for a number of months before he passed.
Thank you, Dave. So I was once asked to preside over a funeral for a resident with whom I'd worked at a continuing care retirement community. And while she was not young when she died, she was not old, and she was taken by a terrible, obscure disease that none of the doctors really understood. Just like a few dozen people get it per year. So her husband asked me at the funeral to share a bit about the Jewish afterlife. He wanted to know where his wife was right then. And as many of you know, the Jewish afterlife is a bit of an obscure concept. But here's what I chose to share. The Lubavitcher Rebbe taught that death, just like life, abides by the laws of physics. And the most basic principle of physics is the first law of thermodynamics, that no energy is ever lost or destroyed. It only assumes a different form. According to the Lubavitcher Rebbe, this energy, this life force, does not merely disappear, it transforms. The energy of love and compassion and care that pulsed through any of your loved ones and bodies, it is still here. It may not be able to manifest through the physical body anymore, but the energy persists in the universe. And just as all energy does, it has the power to impact us in innumerable and immeasurable ways. Jewish tradition teaches us that in the days following death, while the soul no longer resides within the body, it lingers, it hovers in the air to ensure that everything goes smoothly, to tend to family who is grieving, to watch over the burial process. But ultimately, the soul can't linger so close forever. It needs to ascend to its final resting place. And for this, the soul needs our assistance. So the words of the prayer I'm about to sing, El Malei Rachamim, are meant to be a guiding path for the soul, a musical laying of bricks, a carving of the road that helps the soul, step by step, ascend towards its final resting place in Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. For according to this one mythic Jewish reality, before we are born, we reside in a perfect paradise. And after we die, we return there. So through this song, we place the soul upon the wings of the divine presence, and we sing that presence higher and higher and higher until it reaches Gan Eden, where it may dwell in peace and comfort of everlasting life. For energy never disappears. It simply transforms and transmutes. So together tonight, we're going to sing El Malei Rachamim. For while many of our loved ones have already begun the journey, they could always continue to use our support with El Malei Rachamim as a form of lighthouse, guiding their way home. So I'll invite up Corey and Pat to open our ark. I'll first read our Yizkor list, and then we'll sing the words of El Malei Rachamim on page 1028. Or I'll sing the words. Let's see. So I'll read the list and then we'll open. In the past year, our Shalomers have lost Maurice Varon, Irina Rolanatis, Phyllis Hunt, Ruth Opper, Barbara Luck, Lynn Richter, Beth Abrams, Robert Ostrowski, Andrea Lena Tuber, Orlo Clark, Richard Shahan, Lynn Richter, Phoebe DeLay, Susan Catherine, Sarah Knapp, Al Sion, Charles Miller Butter, Lillian Hara, Paul Mazur, Stanley Garbus, Peter Shim, Susan Catherine, and I have Paul Mazur again. The words of El Malei Rachamim, page 1028. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. El Malei Rachamim, shochen bamromim, hamse menucha nechona, tachat kanfei hashechina, b'malot kedoshim v'toharim, kazochar harakia mazhirim, lenishmot yakirenu ukadoshenu shal halchu leolamam. Anabal harachamim hastirem b'tzetel kanfecha leolamim. Utzror b'tzror hachayim et nishmatam. Adonai hu nachalatam. Vayanuchu v'shalom al mishkavam. V'nomar Amen. And we'll continue with the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, found on page 1032. I invite you to remain risen if you are in mourning or if it's your custom. Yes, please do so. Would anyone else like to share a name?
Yes, just in the last 10 days, our march artistic performance community lost Echo Brown.
Are there any other names that anyone would like to share? Yes. In the back. Are there any other names that haven't been said? Yes. Any names over here? Any other names from the community? For all those named and unnamed, we recite on page 1032. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrah hiroteh be'almich malchuteh, be'chayechon u'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol be'Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv yimru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam almei almayah. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha brehu. Le'ela, mikol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya. V'hayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimru. Amen. May their memories be for a blessing, truly. You may be seated. We're going to use some music to help us transition out of Yizkor and into Ne'ilah. Why do we do Yizkor on Yom Kippur as the floodgates of prayer are about to close? So that we know we can carry our loved ones with us through these gates and to the other side. For the gates are closing, but we don't need to rush. We have all the time in the world to take the hand of, to carry everyone we love alongside with us through the gates of liberation. We must ensure that when the gates close, we left no one behind. For none of us are free until all of us are free. As we prepare for the closing of the gates, as we build and build toward this epic moment, I'd like to invite, is Alan in the room yet? Yes, he is, to share a poem with us, a kavanah.
This is a poem by Sheila Peltz Weinberg, a teacher of mine. Can I forgive myself? Can I forgive myself for striving, for preaching peace and mostly being at war? War with time, with my body, yes. even with dear friends whose standards I try to match? Can I forgive myself for not knowing how to rest? Although we would all say the Sabbath is the holiest day, can I forgive myself for trying to predict and arrange the future so I can be safe, even though I know there is only one true source of safety? Can I forgive myself for trying to take care of everything as if I could? Can I forgive myself for the rewards I have gained from striving, the praise, recognition, and admiration? Can I forgive myself? Old feminist, post-Holocaust, third-generation, middle-class Jew living at the end of the American Empire? Can I say, okay, you did great, and now it's time to turn slowly, slowly, and sit down, without an agenda, without a clue, just like that, getting close to life before it's over. There really is no one to forgive us, is there? Just stardust making its way home.
Thank you, Alan. So with those words on our heart, with us as stardust making our way home, for the entirety of our Ne'ilah service, the Ark will remain open, for the Torah is an emissary of all of our prayers to the divine. It can receive our prayers and channel them where they need channeling. So as we sing, I invite people to come forward and masked if we're on the bima to protect one another, and draw close to Torah, to touch it, and to whisper to it all of your regrets and all of your desires, allowing our voices and our prayers, our cries to rise together. So first we'll sing the words on page 1142, the song of the closing of the gates, El Nora Alila, and then we'll go straight into our final Amidah of Yom Kippur, and stay in song and prayer the entirety of the time. So please come forward to the bima at any point to draw close to Torah. I need to get to the right page then. There we go. Corey and Pat, will you be our Ark openers again? So I invite you to rise in body or spirit.
El Nora Alila,
invite people to continue coming forward, touching the Torah if you'd like. But we'll be continuing with the words of our Amidah, but please draw close to Torah at any time. Page 1146. Feel free to stay close. Adonai Sabatai Tiftach Ofia Kita Hilatecha. Adonai Sabatai Tiftach Ofia Kita Hilatecha. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Elohei Bilcha, Elohei Zilpah, Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, V'konei hakol hazocher hastei avot ve'imot umevi gula libnei v'neihem leman shemo ve'ahava misod hachamim u'nevonim u'milemed dat mevinim ay ay Eftechafi betfilah utachananim lechalot ulachen penei melech malei rachamim mochel v'soleach la'avonim. Amen. Zochreinu lechaim melech Umoshia u'magen ay Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah Amen. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Rav Lehoshia Morid Hatah Mechalkel Chaim Behesed Mechayei Kol Chai V'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofei Holim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Mi Chamocha B'Gevura Omi Domela Melech Meimid Umchayei U'Matzmiya Yeshua Mi Chamocha Av Harachamim Zocher Yitzur L'chaim V'Rachamim V'ne'eman Atah L'hiyot Kol Chai ay Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayei Kol Chai. Amen. And I'll invite people to sing the words Kadosh, 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 Hashem Tzavaot. We can just sing it non-instrumentally if we need. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Adonai Tzevaot, Melech kol haaretz kevodo, Melech kol haaretz kevodo. And continue with that. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Adonai Tzevaot, Melech kol haaretz kevodo, Melech kol haaretz kevodo. You can turn to page 1149 and read with me. In the English, we'll cry out the bottom, the words of "Open for us and for all Israel." Open for us and for all Israel, our kin in every place, the gates of enlightenment, the gates of blessing, the gates of gladness, the gates of delight, the gates of heaven's splendor, the gates of voicing confession, the gates of self-worth, the gates of humanity, the gates of taintlessness, the gates of joyful salvation, the gates of complete atonement, the gates of loving kindness, the gates of mercy, the gates of new hope, the gates of speaking forgiveness, the gates of assistance, the gates of providing, the gates of tzedakah, the gates of communal strength, the gates of renewal, the gates of shalom, the gates of teshuvah, and seal us in the book of life for blessing and holiness, for you are holy and your name is holy, and may we enter your gates in holiness. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Adonai Tzevaot, Melech kol haaretz kevodo, Melech kol haaretz kevodo. Baruch atah Adonai, HaMelech HaKadosh. We'll turn now to page 1160, and we're going to cry out, "Open for us the gates." You'll recognize this tune, but not the words. The bottom of the page, Patach Lanu. We'll start with the Nigun.
Okay, Rachmaninoff.
Yam 1162, the 13 attributes.
Malkeinu ki fashanu, ki ata Adonai, tov v'salach, v'erav chesed, lechol koreicha.
Page 1166. We sing the words of Ki Anu Amecha. And 68, the Ashamnu. Our last one of the day. I, 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 eternal goodness. Yet we've abused, we've betrayed, we've been cruel, yes, we've destroyed. At our core we're light and truth and infinite wisdom, eternal goodness. Yet we've embittered, we have falsified, we have gossiped, yes, we have hated. Our real being is light and truth and infinite wisdom, eternal goodness. Yet we've insulted, we have jeered, we have killed, yes, we have lied. Sweep it out, throw it out, wipe it out, yes, clean it all out. Who are we? We're light and truth and infinite wisdom, eternal goodness. Yet we have mocked, we've neglected, we've oppressed, we have perverted. At our core we're light and truth and infinite wisdom, eternal goodness. Yet we have quarreled, we've been racist, we have stolen, yes, we've transgressed. Our real being is light and truth and infinite wisdom, eternal goodness. Yet we've been unkind, we've been violent, we've been wicked, we've been xenophobic. Sweep it out, throw it out, wipe it out, yes, clean it all out. Amazing. Page 1178. Baruch atah Adonai, melech mochel v'soleach la'avonotenu, ולעוונות עמו בית ישראל, ומעביר אשמותינו בכל שנה ושנה,
melech al kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael v'yom ha-kippurim. Page 1180. I will bless you all with the priestly blessing. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha ve'yechunecha. Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha Page 1182. We are really starting to close the book. We're getting close. B'Sefer Chaim, in the book of life, blessing, peace, and proper sustenance. May we be remembered and sealed, we and all your people, for a good life and for peace. Page 1184. Avinu Malkeinu, we have done wrong in your presence. Avinu Malkeinu, help us for the honor of your name. Avinu Malkeinu, renew us for a good year. Avinu Malkeinu, nullify the plans of any who may seek to do us harm. Avinu Malkeinu, grant forgiveness and atonement for all of our transgressions. Avinu Malkeinu, help us to return wholeheartedly into your presence. Avinu Malkeinu, send thorough healing to all those who ail. Avinu Malkeinu, seal us for good fortune in the book of life. Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of redemption and salvation. Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of sustenance and livelihood. Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of merit. Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of forgiveness and atonement. Avinu Malkeinu, let grow for us the tree of imminent redemption. You can find at least some of the words of Avinu Malkeinu, Imenu Mekoreinu, on page 1186. This is our last opportunity. Let's cry out.
Ahava here by any chance? If not, it's okay. We'll still sing. So we're going to sing one last time as we draw very close to our time for Havdalah. We'll sing the words of Adon HaSlichot on page something of 796 in your book, or 7 in the supplement if you need the transliteration.
Yeah, that's right. All right, you ready?
So we'll turn now to page 1190. We'll recite the Shema once, Baruch Shem Kavod 3 times, and Hashem Hu HaElohim 7 times. Shema Baruch Shem Kavod Malchut
will do our Havdalah. I was looking for the page, 1194. Would anyone like to be my special candle holder for our Havdalah ceremony and lighter? So many people said yes, great. And I'm going to pour our Kiddush. We don't say the blessing over the spices, but we say all the others. Because it's not Shabbat, and we only do the spices on Shabbat for whatever reason. It's to bring our second soul back to our bodies. But we have it. Feel free to light it. Do you need help?
Breakfast. Great, yeah, breakfast is in the courtyard. Challah is making its way around. Shana Tova, everyone. Shana Tova.
Thank you so much for singing this. Your contribution was great.